How's it going? Welcome to the DrBringit's Street Fighter's Guide to Getting Ripped. This is a 4-part series. First part is about the mental game. Second part, nutrition. Third part, supplements. And the fourth part, exercise. Okay, so let's get right into it. The mental game. What is it about the mental game, the mental aspect, that is so critical about undergoing a wellness program or a nutrition program or exercise program? What is it? My answer to that is commitment. You need to be committed. You don't just wake up one day and just say, you know what, I'm gonna start juicing with carrots. You know, I'm doing carrot juice every morning. You don't just roll out of bed and just say, I'm just gonna, chew on some celery right now. It doesn't happen like that. Usually, and to take it back to, a project, there's a beginning of a project. There's a project, kickoff, so just like that, you have to do an appropriate kickoff for your program as well. So you know what? Let's take, today. Today's Tuesday, okay? You say, you know what? For the rest of the week, I'm going to eat my face off, but then come Monday, I'm going to really start it. So prepare yourself for the rest of this week to really start on Monday. And you have to do this. You also have to, dig deep and ask yourself, what is it that motivates you? What is your motivation? Do you like being overweight? Do you like being out of shape? I mean, if you do, then there's no reason for it. But, like probably millions of people out there, they're tired of getting up in the morning, with aches in their joints. They're tired of maybe laboring, when they bend down to tie their shoes. Me, for instance, I had a herniated disc back in October that pretty much rendered me fairly useless. I stopped playing a lot of volleyball. I stopped playing basketball. It labored me to give the kids a bath, every single night, lifting them up out of the tub. It was very painful, and I would wake up every morning in a lot of pain. That was my motivation. I just got tired of it. I was about 215 pounds at 5'8". According to the body mass index, the BMI, and we'll talk about that later on in our nutrition segment. I'm supposed to be like 150 to 160. I was pushing 215. The body is just not meant to endure that kind of weight, and I for sure definitely, felt that, getting up every single day. I think that was really the breaking point for me when I just realized, would I be able to even, protect my family in the event of something catastrophic or something? Would I be able to just jump to their rescue? Not at that shape. And I'll tell you, many millions of people out there also say the same thing. They think of those things, and it's kind of like a morbid thought or a negative thought, saying like, wow, I can barely save myself, let alone my family. But you got to really, talking about the mental game, you have to ask yourself, what is your motivation? What is it that's preventing you from owning your life? You own it. I mean, aside from God, okay? If you're a God believer, aside from God, you are the person who can control what you do every single day. You're the one that drives to Starbucks or McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts every morning. No one else. You're the one that puts all that food in your mouth or drinks those high calorie drinks every single morning. No one's forcing you to do that. That's your decision. But you have to understand that you are in control of that. As much power as it takes to sip down a light and sweet coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. That's the same amount of power it takes to drink a carrot juice. Okay? But the two things, they don't equate nutritionally. Okay? And we'll talk about that later on. But as it pertains to the mental game, dig deep and ask yourself, what is it? What is it? Finally, can you think of something that you want to achieve? Why not start it Monday? Why not start it tomorrow? I would say give yourself some preparation time, okay? Because if you're going to be committed to this, you definitely have to be 100% committed, okay? So, just like with any other program, a little bit of education goes a long, long way, okay? And that's what my intention is for this video, is to prepare you mentally, then talk about nutrition and supplementation, as well as the things that you need to do activity-wise to achieve the goals that you want. Okay? Not everyone wants washboard abs. Okay? Maybe you just want to be able to run a 5K. Maybe you want to be able to just, push up, 185 on the bench press. It depends whatever your goal is. Okay? But I want to talk about and address the mental aspect of this thing all, because without the mental aspect, it's shot. It's done. That's why Jenny Craig, that's why, all of these like fad diets, the Atkins, all of this stuff, everyone thinks that there's a miracle pill, there's a miracle exercise, there's a miracle, weight loss program out there. No, it's up here, and you own that. Remember this, okay? There's no program out there that will do it all for you. That's why I believe in just the old school, educate yourself. Don't let, infomercials influence what you do every single day. You have to own yourself, own your activities that you do, both, eating wise and exercise wise, and you will achieve the goals that you want. Okay? So that's it. And I just have to leave you with this one last question to ask yourself. And whenever you're in that situation where you want to eat something bad and you're not sure and you're really struggling, ask yourself this one question. Is that donut more important than ripped abs? Okay, as superficial as that may sound, whatever it is with your motivation, if it's the pain that you're suffering in your joints, then ask yourself, is this donut more important than the pains that I feel in my joints? Or if it's like, some sort of a sickness or an ailment that you had come down with because of your health or something like that. Let's say your liver count is high or something like that. You have to ask yourself, is these potato chips more important than my health? And when you ask yourself that question, the answer is very simple. It's no. The more you say no to bad food, the stronger your willpower gets. This is a fact, okay? When you say no, you're actually exercising that part of the brain that controls your willpower. Strengthen up that willpower and say no to bad foods. That's the mental aspect of it. Keep asking yourself that question. Are those bad foods more important than your goals? Talk to you soon.